Canon has finally done it. They've scheduled their first announcement for new cameras, and it's going to be next week. Will it be the Canon EOS R5 Mark II or something different? We've got a total of 6 registered cameras, 2 cinema cameras, ID 0174 and 0179, or one of 4 stills hybrid cameras, DS 126922, 126928, 126904, or the sneaky one 126925. Well, the long wait is over for at least some customers. On June the 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, that's Toronto and New York time, or 12 p.m. Pacific Time or Vancouver time. So which camera or cameras can we expect Canon to announce? Well, it's not going to be the Canon EOS R5, the Mark II, because, well, my sources told me that's going to happen in July. And it's not going to be the Canon EOS R1. There's no way that Canon's going to do a development announcement, just a week ago, and then 2 weeks later do the actual announcement. It just doesn't make any sense. So that crosses 2 stills hybrid cameras off the list, giving us 2 stills hybrid cameras, and of course, well, 2 cinema cameras. Now, some of you have suggested that this could be the Canon EOS R5C Mark II, and that's certainly plausible, but not likely. There's no way that Canon's going to announce the Canon EOS R5C Mark II at an event, giving us all the information, all the details, having people, ambassadors, talk about this camera. Announcing the cinema camera before the stills hybrid camera? No, that's not going to happen either. Now, one thing one of my sources did tell me is that the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, not the C, the R5 Mark II, is going to be a WOW camera. And the source went further, stating, for those who are undecided whether to have the R5 or the R5C, they will no longer have any doubts. And just today, on May the 30th, Canon Rumors is now coming around and backing that up as well. The EOS R5 Mark II has a lot of new video-focused features, and in some ways will go beyond the capabilities of the Canon EOS R5C. There's going to be a lot of additional AI video features added to the software inside the camera. And from what we've seen and been told, we don't think a follow-up, and this is really big here, folks, we don't think a follow-up to the EOS R5C will be in the cards. Yeah, that's a mic drop moment. No EOS R5C in the cards? Now, my sources haven't told me that. Well, one source did tell me that if you're looking at the R5 and the R5C, there's really going to be your decision is going to be made easy for you. And that could be my source indicating that there will be no R5C Mark II. Now, in my discussions with the source, I was told that this new camera, the R5 Mark II, is going to have an awful lot of video capabilities, making the R5C just seem, well, almost pointless. So no R5C Mark II, no R1, no R5 Mark II. Well, that crosses off a good 3 potential cameras. Let's go ahead and take a look at the image one more time, and this might give us a bit of a hint as to which camera we might be seeing. Take a look at the neck strap here. Take a close look. No C300 or C500 would have any sort of neck strap mounting like that. It's far more likely to see a follow-up to the C70, let's say a C70 Mark II, than to see a C300 Mark IV, a C500 Mark III, or even a C100 or C200. And when it comes to the C100 and C200, depending on what Canon does with the R5 Mark II, we might not even see the need for a C100 or a C200 successor. It's really hard to estimate what we could see coming in from Canon in the cinema space over the next couple of years, because they haven't updated anything. And yes, the C700 is ready for a refresh, as is every other single cinema camera. But it's that mounting point for the neck strap that kind of gives it away, that most likely, and Canon UK has already dropped several different images of this announcement for June the 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, at noon Vancouver time, and if it's 3 p.m. here, that would make it 8 p.m. in Europe. Well, at least in the UK. Depending on where you are in Europe, it could be a little bit later, 9 or even 10 o'clock. So I'm willing to think, I believe, this is my thought, no sources telling me this was a complete surprise today. I think that this could be the C70 Mark II. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But one thing this shows us is for the R5 Mark II, for the R1, we are going to have some sort of proper announcement from Canon. They're taking this effort to do it for a cinema camera, and it's going to be on their YouTube site. It'll be a video that'll likely be scheduled to start showing at a specific time, and we'll get to watch it on their channel, giving us the information, the specifications, and we'll get to see the same thing most likely for the EOS R5 Mark II, and that will happen sometime in July. And I was the only one calling for July, but now many other sources, including Canon Rumors, has just come around to say, yeah, you know what, after June makes sense. So what else could we expect to have an announcement for? Well, obviously the R1. Canon's already gone to the effort of doing a development announcement. You don't go to the effort to do a development announcement and then not do a full-blown regular announcement. And why the development announcement? Well, for the obvious reason is that there's a huge amount of demand for this camera. So that's why we have the development announcement. So we'll also have a scheduled live stream. Now, what I'm hearing from some sources, and this seems to be coming from multiple sources, is that the R1 and the R5 Mark II will both be announced at the same event, or at least on the same day. We don't have all the details at this point. All we have is this kind of fuzzy July, and July has a lot of days in it. It has 31 days, and each day is just about 24 hours long. So we don't have any exacts at this point. But yeah, this was pretty exciting. I already tweeted this out a few hours ago. It was one of those things where I thought, well, I better tweet this out. Thank you to everybody. I got about 5 or 6 different messages, texts, all sorts of different ways of communicating with me, letting me know about this. So thank you so much for that. I was actually relaxing. I wasn't expecting much right now because it's after hours here in North America. And, you know, Europe has kind of gone to bed, and it's probably a few hours before Asia wakes up. So I was relaxing, having dinner. And thank you for this information. So yeah, we've got something to look forward to next week. I don't know if I'll be able to do a live stream because I personally will be traveling, and it may be very difficult to do any sort of live stream because you need an awful lot of infrastructure in place. And where I'm going to be, it's going to be a little bit remote. I may not have that infrastructure, but yeah, figures it would happen right when I'm traveling. And the 5th, let me just check to see what date that is. Well, not date, but what day that is. So the 5th is a Wednesday. So there we go. And I'm wondering if this might have been some of the confusion. Canon Rumors saying that we would have an R5 Mark II announcement before the end of May. And I know this is June the 5th, but who knows? And again, dates can change. This is something we've seen before. We've seen this an awful lot. We've seen every major camera company delay things in the first half of 2024. It was scheduled to be a very, very big first half. And we got, well, what we did get was an awful lot of great deals, like the Canon EOS R5, the Mark I, $28.99. The Nikon Z8, $500 off. I'm not going to go into naming off every camera again, but if you want to see them, take a look at the description down below. The C70 is $500 off. I've got that in the links down below as well. Some really incredible deals. And as much as we like to get excited about new gear, honestly, take a look at what's on sale because it's probably something that you wanted to get at some point. Lenses, camera bodies, and accessories. Everything's on sale, and not just token sales. I'm talking in the hundreds of dollars off, thousands of dollars off. Some really incredible deals. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and choose all notifications, and follow me on X, because while you're watching this video right now, I already tweeted out this information on X. So for those that are complaining about me taking too long to get to the point, well, if you follow me on X, you get the point right away. Anyhow, thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourself a great day, what's left of it, and we'll see you again soon.